hospital with Tupac, and which bodyguard did you assign to him?
It wasn't Frank anymore because, you know, the family, everybody was kind of down on Frank. Kevin Hackey, I was down on because I found out that he wasn't there. So I had guys like Rich McCulley that was there, the LAPD cop, that got in some trouble about being out there. James Green, James McDonald. I had about 6 guys that stayed back out of the 30 guys that was out there that stayed back and was working a 12-man on, 12-man off shift.
Wow.
And so it was about 6 to 8 guys that stayed. I can't think of them right now, but I think Bill Upton was one. I remember seeing a bunch of them when they were taking the mother outside and when they were running on that documentary, and they were taking her to the car. That was about 2 or 3 of my guys. So I had about 6 or 8 guys that were still out and around on the hospital detail.
So did you go in the room and look at and see him? How did he look?
I saw him from stage. I never went inside the room. I didn't go inside the room, but I would go by the door, the hospital, mainly talking to my guys and checking on them. But to say that I went inside the room, no, I never went inside the room. Plus, most people, this is where I always laugh about all the people with the stories about how they had to go in. He was cut open, cut down the middle and stuff. They had to put on like special suits and stuff so you couldn't get germs and stuff when they were, they had like special gowns and so it wasn't like you just walk in there and all that. Most people were just looking through the window or looking through the door or stuff like that. But there were certain people that went in there, but not like everybody got a story of how he was doing or what he was doing. That's just not true.
So
if you know anything about hospitals and stuff, when Moprine talking about he trying to shake the bed and all of that. If he was up and he wasn't, what's the word? Sedated.
Yeah.
And they were there in malpractice because to be feeling all that pain, that man was in such pain. So that's what I always say. He was sedated to the point where.
I spent 10 years working in the ER in Baltimore. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, lately, I heard Suge say Pac kind of told his mom while in the bed to end his life. That's never gonna happen because at that point he has his tooth down his throat. He's intubated. He cannot.
Oh yeah.
He can't take a pill because it's NPO at that point. You know what I mean?
Suge,
that makes no sense.
Suge say stuff for movies. What do you say? He wanted to ask him for some weed or something like that? He wanted to smoke something and all that. He said, asking to get him a joint or something like that. They weren't even there. They wasn't even in the same emergency room at any time once he went to surgery. Yeah. Suge was released that night. He had a graze or a cut. Yeah. He was released by 4 or 5 that morning.
Pretty far down the street when it happened. We didn't know if we heard gunshots or we didn't really know exactly what we heard. We heard a lot of screaming, a lot of cars screeching. We were just hanging out, taking photos at the time. We ran up the street as cops were running past us, and by the time we got here, they were already taking, which now I found out was Tupac, into the helicopter away. He had been shot.